So you all may be wondering about the title. You don't understand XCOM. You may think you understand XCOM for the Firaxis games, but you don't understand XCOM until you've played the original. And I'm going to explain why the Firaxis games don't understand XCOM. Because they don't. There are many reasons why. This is on the Open XCOM Extended source port, by the way, which is basically a pure improvement of the original game. Up to 3 difficulty. First of all, the original game cut the Snakemen entirely until the second game, which is one of the few improvements that the second game even has. Go with a mixed roster. Basically, each of these is a roster of enemies that you can run into, and they're set based on the different types of craft that you're attacking. I'm actually going to do a base defense to show this off, because this is something they cut as well from the game. And we'll go mid-game tech level. Oh yeah, and you can have this many characters. This is another thing. They cut it down to 6 out of this. From this many characters down to 6. From 26 to 6. But you could also trade those out for vehicles as well. Which is another downgrade. I think they re-added these in expansion, so they made you pay more to get stuff that was in the original game, which they've continued to do. The reason why I don't highly rate these games. Let me just get some of the various armaments in better quantities. Just so I can show everything off. Ah, yeah, that's how you do it. I've played it a little bit, so I'm a little bit rusty. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Actually, we'll start with a smaller battle first, before I do this one. But, to show off some other mechanics that are in the, yeah, I need some of these. To explain why the Firaxis games are infinitely inferior. This is something that's been... Oh, that's a gun. Ammo. Another thing that's in the campaign only is you have to load up your craft. And depending on what mods you're playing, usually mods don't have this limitation in them because it's typically... How do I explain it? They're usually balanced with the size of the craft in mind for how much stuff you can carry, or they just give the craft infinite carry size. But if you carry all your stuff on your carry craft, you have to choose what you put on your craft. That's the menu that I'm in. Normally you'd have this in the campaign. The mini nuke launchers, or ATGMs. Another cut weapon. This is the stun weapon. Alien grenades. Just equip some people in some. I want some flying suits, just because they're really neat. They're the late game armor. And they'll show off some more of the mechanics that got cut. which are the verticality elements. The craft weapon system, you can also put different weapons onto your craft, which I'm pretty sure was cut as well. And is actually a fairly realistic system, by the way, from what we've seen in Ukraine. Let's go over to... We'll go Small Scout. We'll go Sectoid. Yeah, Small Scout is what I'm looking for. Yeah, we'll go Darkness. We'll start without Darkness because it'll show. Start with the standard terrain set. I'm just gonna go. There's a blaster bomb, dude. But this is the inventory system in the original was a lot better, as you can see. You have a weight category, you have different accuracies. Let me show the stats. This is how leveling up used to work. You basically did certain actions, and then they leveled up the stats individually based on those actions, and they did checks, basically, at the end of the battle. I have auto-equip off for campaigns, because that's annoying. That's a mechanic in the original, though. Because they expected people to die. Ah, I forgot to... Okay, but... It's not the dude that I want. Out of this shit. But as you can see, the game's multi-layered, so... Every section of the level has multiple layers to it, and is actually a fully 3D environment. Which is more than I can say for the Firaxis games. Most of the time they're only 1 or 2 layers, and they don't have always fully structured interiors. Also, they don't have a day and night system either. Also, the way shooting works in this game is different. Instead of just having flat percentages, you see the percentages over here. But that doesn't tell the whole story. You can actually go off and, like, I'm going to show it here. You can hit your own dudes, which I'm trying to show here. Yeah, see, I just hit my own dude. You can shoot your own dudes in this one, because the bullet's actually still traveling. You see they blew up that piece of terrain there. So you can destroy walls and stuff with just normal bullets. And then you have to heal them. Find someone with a medic hit, just to show the healing system here. Oh yeah, and there's jetpacks as well, which can go up and down layers. How many layers are there on this one? I think this one only has 4. Most newer maps on mods and stuff have typically like 5, 7 layers, by the way. So, since this is not a modded map, it's a bit lacking. So usually you get a bit more going on. So you have a full healing system. I think you get different stat reductions based on what gets hurt. And as you saw, there were multiple things in that menu. This heals stamina. This I think reduces the incapacitation level, which is this bar here. which was sort of, they tried to reintroduce that mechanic with the whole you can pick up people and then carry them back to the ship, but it isn't anywhere near as good as the original game where you literally had a whole bar and you could choke on smoke in this game, like fire, incinerary. Let me get some dust in the air. Show this off from this guy's weapon. Launch rocket. Not enough time units. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have enough action points to shoot that. That's another thing that they fucked up in the Firaxis games as well, is time units. Instead of actually just having time units, they give you these bars that move you a certain amount of spaces, which is just... the fuck? That was the stupidest decision that they could have made. And cover actually takes up the amount of space that it takes up, like, like, you can actually shoot through this, and hit this character. I'm pretty sure. If you wanted to, you could shoot through this leg piece, through those gaps. Because everything's actually fully 3D in this game. That isn't like a full piece of cover, and these windows, the same deal. But it isn't like just the half cover thing where it only gives you like a partial thing. No, it's like a certain level of cover. It's like the actual objects in the environment. Also, you can crouch, which actually just makes your character lower onto the ground. Let me see if I can show that against this wall here, because this would be the type of... yeah, I can show it here. This is the type of environment where you would want to really take advantage of that. So you can crouch them, and then that lowers their profile. And it also gives them better accuracy with certain weapons, which can be viewed in this here. This is part of the source port. This isn't in the vanilla game. But it shows you that, and then you can look at the ammo and see what they do differently. Recommend turning on debug mode, just so you can see all the statistics, even if it's a bit messy. I've done modding for this game, so much prefer it to the Firaxis games. And this game's more of a tactical game. Like it's much closer to a milsim than it is to like your trying to think of what to compare it to. Like what normally people compare XCOM to. I don't know what to use as a comparison. Where's the fucking door? There's a door on one of these sides. Or is that part of a mod? There might be a mod that adds a door on one of these sides. Yeah, that must be part of a mod. This has armor-piercing, high-explosive, and incinerary ammo. All things we have in real life. And don't have in the second XCOM game. They went like, fuck you, you don't get all our real-life weapons because balance. Or, well, because we just want to make an unfair game because we don't understand XCOM isn't actually unfair. Well, it's kind of unfair from the fact that the aliens have kind of better eyesight at night, but that's like a different... that's like something you have to work around. Like, it's not like... it's your fault if you die because you didn't bring fucking flares with you to light up the night. That's happened in Vietnam. That's... If you... it's basically just not being prepared. It's your own fucking fault. You're just bad, basically. Basically, you're just bad, is what I'm saying. And you should stop saying the game's hard when you're just bad. Stop saying game's hard when you're just bad. Get good, man. As much as this is probably sounding like just get good, it genuinely is. Just understand general combat tactics, and you'll have a better time with it. Because this game is kind of trying to be realistic, and the Firaxis games aren't. And that's a big issue with them trying to be sequels, because it means other games are closer to being XCOM games than the XCOM game. They aren't sequels, basically. For me, they fall into the same category as basically all the other sequels since the... they're closer to the original, but they're... Also, why don't you have access to the full military stuff? Because we know so much more about it than the people probably back then did when they were making this game. Because this game obviously had compromises because we didn't know stuff about our current military. And the Vietnam War and stuff was still present in people's minds, so they didn't want to harken back to that. That very clearly was a consideration, I think, in the game's design. Oh, that's for the psychic powers, I think. Oh, yeah, and the stun things go for the aliens, too. The aliens could take wounds just like the player can, and they can get incapacitated by them if they've taken enough stun damage, which normal guns will do, because bleeding and shit. They bleed! If it bleeds, we can kill it. Lol. Oh. This is more of a rant video than anything, because too many people give that game way too much praise. The XCOM Enemy Unknown, and especially XCOM 2. Let me show you the particle effect system for this game. Wow. I killed the alien. Fuck. But you saw it there at the... I'm gonna go do a bigger battle. New battle. We're do a tear mission. Against... Mixed, I think? Or do I want to do sectoids? Because they fuck up the design of some enemies in the new games too. The robots, they fuck them up. Oh no, they fuck up the, they also fuck up the, what are they called? The things that turn people into zombies. Those things they look a lot scarier in this game, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Does it still have the... Also, this game has random civilians running around that can get shot, as part of the game. Which is really brutal, when you think about what's actually going on. Because the aliens are basically trying to terrorize the people of Earth into surrender, to not have to fight a protracted ground campaign. That's why XCOM's made. That's the alien plan, is basically they're trying to use terror tactics to make Earth surrender by basically bombing our cities and stuff. Like World War II style. Where's the armor setting? I know there's a way to do it. Ugh, can I not do it from here? I guess not. That might be a mod thing. I did not check the tech level, so... And also the modding in this game's a lot better than the newer ones. Also, there's different levels of cost for pulling out of different pockets as well, which is better than the new games, where it just gives you new abilities. or whatever. Also, the level up system's better. Because, there's also a mechanic in this game where the enemies start with full action points on the first turn, which is how Overwatch works. Overwatch is a lot better in this game than in the newer games, like the Firaxis games. They butchered Overwatch in that game, in those games. It made it just bullshit and stupid. As you can see a lot farther during the day than at night, obviously. Like, that makes sense. I don't think that was actually a mechanic. I think pretty much everything took place at night in Enemy Unknown for whatever reason. Show off this weapon here. This is one of the coolest weapons in all of gaming. Actually, I don't want to shoot civilians with it. Because that is a thing you can do in this. Collateral damage for the win. Ooh, where is he? Oh, he's right over there. Just me on these maps. These maps feel much smaller than they normally do. Maybe the mod maps like increase this. No, it's just I haven't seen this far yet. A lot of mods tend to increase your perception of your characters. Knock my way in there. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to shoot there, because there's civilians in there. There's some holes in there. Like, you can use tactics like that in this game, which is really neat. Like, that's the type of that you don't get in the thing, because they don't actually have bullets. They just are percentages that you do damage. Like, that's one of my biggest gripes with it, is there's no actual bullets. You're not actually shooting, so to speak. You're just rolling to do damage. See, civilians. Civilians, they can get shot. The aliens will shoot them. I'm very tempted to shoot a blaster bomb over there. I'm just gonna intern. Yep, shooting people. Oops, shot one of my dudes. Shot that dude. The power armor's so much... Oh, there it is. They messed that up in the game. They made it like this big, like, it unrolls into like a big spaghetti monster thing. Those things like explode too as like a nuke. Okay, it's okay to shoot the nuke over there now. Oh, yeah, launch rocket. These you can give really... See? Knocked it out. Look at that! That is that just not the biggest boom you've seen in any video game? It leveled the building. Like, that is like like, holy fuck. How did this not get into the new XCOM game? This alone is a shame. Look at all the particle effects as well. This smoke actually obscures stuff, by the way. This is the same smoke as normal. Because it's kicked up so much dust. See that bullet's traveling way out there? Don't want to shoot my own dude. I think you get the point, though, that I'm trying to make with this video. There's a lot of cut mechanics and stuff that just make the Firaxis games infinitely inferior. And these games aren't as hard as people make them out to be either. As you can see, like, I only lost 2 people, and they were not equipped like the other people were. Obviously, the game starts out really hard, but that's sort of the point. You're gonna take losses, and if you're expecting not to, then you're smoking crack. Let me shoot one of these so I can show that off. It's a little bit fat, so let's see if I can get... Oop. Ooh, there you go. Yep. Blew up. Killed that dude, too. Explosions look really good in this game. Because they actually get stopped by walls and stuff. They basically count every piece of terrain, and then they basically destroy... They have, like, a health value, and then they destroy them. Based on the damage, and so it creates really interesting-looking craters. Really interesting-looking blast effects. Like, over here you can see the building's still sort of there. Let's see if I can fly this guy over. Yeah, so you can see it went into the building, but it didn't quite go through the entire building. It went, like, partway into the building. And then went across the floor and, like, went into the wall. And then stopped. Like, that's pretty cool. What game has that level of detail? I don't know many. So I think I'm gonna... I think I've made my point. That I'm trying to make with this video, which is... The original XCOM's better than the new one. Oh, that's the wrong menu. Eh. End game. Also, its music's better.